Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Real Myst. Once again, this is a re-recording. Yeah, we just recently picked up the red book page. I did that annoying mutt page again, and let's see what Sirius has to say.
Return. Thank you for bringing the red page. You must continue. My name is Sirius. I beg you to find the remaining red pages. You must release me from this book which has become. Bring. I need more red pages, please. Beg. Don't waste time. Look. Don't. My brother. And I wrongfully imprisoned. Bring the red page to me.
Well, according to Sirius, he claims that Agonar is guilty and that he was wrongly imprisoned. So, we need to explore a bit more. Now, the next age we're going to explore is going to be the Stone Ship Age, which is actually right there where the sunken ship craft was. So, as we can hear from above, the tower has indeed rotated, and we're going to go ahead and make our way up back to the tower, so we may solve another puzzle, so we may explore the Stone Ship Age. Which, quite frankly, has got to be my favorite age of this entire game. And I'll explain more in detail once we actually explore the place. However, the puzzle getting to the Stone Ship Age is also one of my favorite ones on this island. And it's for a lot of good reasons. Mainly because it has to do with dates and symbols. Anyway, we can see that, well, below me holds the sunken ship, and there is a plaque on the other wall. So now we shall travel to the plaque and run up the ladder. And we've got a series of 3 dates. October 11th, 1984 at 10:04 a.m. January 17th, 12:07 at 5:46 a.m. And, of course, November 23, 97-91. Damn, that's pretty far out. At 6:57 p.m. And I'm currently writing these down. Double checking, making sure I've got the dates correct. And we should be going anytime soon, I think. There we go. So we're going to climb back down the ladder. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell do these dates mean? And, of course, where the hell am I supposed to input dates on this whole island? Well, there is a very special room that we haven't gone to yet on this island. No, it's not the clock tower, because the clock tower is used for something else. That's actually going to help us get to the Mechanica Age. And it's not that weird log cabin that will help us get to Channelwood. So now the only thing that's left is that small building next to the library. But what the hell could be in there? Well, as soon as we exit out of the library, we shall see. How did you do all this? I'll show you. Anyway, yes, this area right here, this weird little dome-like object. And if we go inside, we'll soon discover that, well, it's a chair with dates on it. But there really isn't much we can do staring at a gray thing. But when we look up, it's now a starry sky. The music is very, very settling. You feel so relaxed, and the idea that we're basically be looking at constellations through stars by inputting dates is such a rewarding and joyful experience. Anyway, the sliders themselves is actually quite easy. From left to right, we have the date, the month, date, year, and then time. The cool thing about this is that if you're almost on the dot, you can basically use the arrows to speed up the process. If there's anything that the Myst series has for it, the soundtracks for each game are just phenomenal. Every new age, every new part of the main maps explored has a new and gratifying aspect to it that you just love and adore. And we get our first constellation. So I'm gonna go and jot this down in my Myst journal. And yes, when you're copying these down, you do have to make note which ones are the big stars and which ones are the small stars. Alright, now we're going to move on to the next date. And the more and more I think about it, the more and more I realize I really do need to download the soundtrack for all the Myst games. And our next constellation is kind of weird. Huh. Interesting. So it's a triangle of two small and one big. The small one out far. Alright. Alright, final date. It was November 23rd, 97 something. 97. 999. 96. 97. 97, 91. It's the end of the world as we know it. Anyway, at 6:57 p.m. And our final constellation is... The hell is that? Yeah, this one's somewhat complex. And now we have the constellations. And of course, if we want to figure out what these constellations mean, it'd be a good idea to go back to the library and read the book for the Stone Ship Age, which is this blue book right here. Emmett was the first to live on the rock. He named them the rocks because that is what they were, a group of sharp rocks clustered together in the middle of a large sea. This was where Emmett lived. He enjoyed his life. Emmett would occasionally swim to nearby rocks, as it was never too far of a distance. One day another person appeared on the rocks, for no apparent reason to Emmett. Emmett named this new person Branch. Emmett and Branch quickly became friends, swimming and playing together and hunting for fish together often. Emmett showed Branch the simple cave in which he lived on, in the largest rock. Soon Branch discovered a place where he decided to live, also on the same large rock. The sun also brightly shone in their world, and the water was always deep, draggingly blue, allowing them to see almost the bottom of the deep ocean floor which surrounded them. Though the sun always shone, it was never... Next page, please. Too hot for the boys, and a light breeze always came from the north and cooled the area down. One day, while Branch was swimming, having fun in the water, he noticed another boy swimming. Branch brought the new boy to Emmett to find out what to call this new boy. Emmett said the boy should be called Will. Will was soon part of the group, and all three of the boys swam and enjoyed their perfect world. At least, that is the story I was told when I arrived today on the island. Emmett, Branch, and Will were surprised to see me at first, but before the night ended, we were all becoming good friends. Today, the second day of this newly created age, a strange thing happened. It was not so strange to me, but the three boys did not understand what was happening. While I was relaxing under a large tree in one of the smaller rock islands, it began to rain. It was a nice rain that lasted for about an hour in the morning. I explained to the boys that this rain was not harmful, yet they obviously still feared it. But before going to sleep tonight, I told the boys I would leave the following day, and I told them that while I was gone, I would make a surprising change to the world. They didn't understand, not that I expected them to. I still do not fully understand what happened today. As I was experimenting with the art, testing the limits of the rules as dictated by my father, I attempted to create a boat by writing it into the world. I thought everything was planned correctly, yet some of the boys had become the boat had somehow get gripped to the rock. Answers to a few of the questions my father never answered. As for the boat, I can now see the boys enjoy it. Anyway, with that I am pleased. They have played on it all day. Even though the boat cannot move, I have enjoyed studying it from a much sturdier platform than the jagged rocks in the course of my observations. I have also learned some interesting things regarding the solar system of this age. The nights are absolutely beautiful here, and I have made a note of it and named the number of constellations that pass above me. Also, during the night, I catch glimmers of light from the horizon, which I have not been able to discover if it is created by some natural phenomenon or by additional people on far-off islands or rocks. I should very much like to discover which. I suspect it is additional people which explain the appearance of Branch and Will. The rain today was slightly heavier than usual. Just when the boys were getting used to the light rains, a small storm arrived. They were frightened by the heavier rain, not to mention the thunder and lightning. If rain has never fallen here until recently, as the boys tell me, I would like to discover why it is falling now. Regardless, I decided not to return home for a short while. I have also been thinking of some plans for the lighthouse that I hope to construct soon. I think perhaps by shining a bright light towards the horizon, it might prove my suspicions regarding additional inhabitants. They would be curious about the light and travel to discover its source if they have the means. I return with many tools that I will need for the construction of the lighthouse. I have decided that once the lighthouse is completed, I will leave for some time and let the world's own imagination have control. We have worked 3 weeks on the lighthouse now, and are making great progress. The rock that we are building on seems not to be as secured as I would have liked. I have had to alter my plans slightly, but those alterations pose no real... The lighthouse is finished, and we're all proud of our creation. The boys are amazed at the structure wrought from rock with their own hands. That evening, we powered up the generator, much to the boys' dread at first, and shined a great light to the horizon for many hours. I stayed the night on top of the lighthouse, and in the morning I woke to observe sunrise without my feet being coated with chilly blanket of ocean dew I hadn't been accustomed to. It was Will who first saw the girl. She was swimming not too far from the boat where Will was getting ready to hunt for fish. Then Will noticed a man not far away from the girl, and was very pleased to meet the additional neighbors. I feel pleased to leave this age. I have set and here in motion contents that have nothing to do with the writing or the art, that will have more profound impact on this world than I could ever have written. I think... Stone Ship Age. Of it as this age is a gift to myself that I will wrap up and open some day in the future, only to discover that it has changed so much that indeed it is a surprise. Besides, I have yet another new age that awaits me. It seems I'm going to need some way to travel underwater in this new age, and so much planning is in order. It has been 10 years since I left this age, which I have since called the Stone Ship Age. Upon returning, I cannot believe the changes that have taken place. The original 3 boys have grown into adults, and there have been many faces that I do not recognize. Branch told me it has not rained for seven years in the cool breeze. They're back again. They're all really content and have been serving me with new food, showing me new materials that they discovered. It even seems they have found gold somewhere. I see it in many forms around the island. Kept in perfect condition, it looks like as they have tried... Yet I've noticed that the entire rock it was built on had sank approximately 40 or 50 centimeters. After a wonderful visit with my old friends, I wondered aloud with them what things would be like here in another 10 years. And then we have a book of Constellations, but we'll look at that the next time when we decide to play. Therefore, we'll finally gain access to the Stone Ship Age. See you guys next time.